Some of this garden is absolutely thriving right now, and some of it is honestly a bit of a disaster. Today I want to show you what's working, what's not working at all, and what I've learnt from both, because this is actually what real gardening looks like. These rock melons are almost ready to harvest, and I am so excited about them. You can smell the sweetness already. When the rock melon turns yellow and you can smell the sweetness, they are ready. This is one of those moments where all the hard work pays off. Definitely ready. It's starting to turn yellow. You can see, well, it has turned yellow. You can see all the yellow there. And I think if I just wiggled it, it would come off the stalk right here. You can see this one has detached itself from the vine already. So that is definitely ready to eat, and it's nice and yellow and it smells delicious. Oh, there we go. That was definitely ready. How beautiful that is. Smells amazing. Looks like there's a little bit of caterpillar damage there, but it should be fine on the inside. But yeah, smells great. And then there's this watermelon. It is absolutely massive. Every time I come out here, it feels bigger. I don't want to jinx it, but right now it's looking really healthy, and I'm counting down the days until it's ready. It's a bit of an odd shape, but I can see this skinny end finally filling out. Hopefully only a week or two until I can harvest it and enjoy this deliciousness. The one thing that I've been so damn excited about is the dragon fruit. I harvested my first one off this plant about 2 weeks ago, and it was the best tasting dragon fruit I have ever experienced. It is so good. And there are another 2 flowers that have bloomed and are becoming fruit, and another 6 buds I can see on this plant. I come and check this plant at least twice a day to see if they have grown. That's how excited I am about having my own dragon fruit. Honestly, if you haven't tried homegrown dragon fruit, you are missing out. It's nothing like the stuff you get at the supermarket. This corn is also looking really good, tall, green and strong. It's one of those crops where you're just waiting and hoping everything lines up at harvest time. The corn has been a bit hit and miss so far this year. At the start of the season I got some rippers, but since then they have been small and the caterpillars have gotten into them. But these are looking good so far. I will be keeping my eye on them to make sure they develop into big juicy cobs with no caterpillar damage. I won't be using spray as I grow organically, but I will be checking them daily for damage. Now, this is where things go a bit sideways. The spaghetti squash has turned into an absolute jungle. It looks impressive, but it's covered in powdery mildew, and it's only produced 2 squash so far. This is one of those lessons where lots of growth doesn't always mean lots of food. Next time I'd focus way more on airflow and keeping it to 2 to 3 litres, because once powdery mildew sets in, it's really hard to get on top of it. This time of year with the high humidity and rain, it's just created the perfect environment for powdery mildew, so I would plant this one at the start of spring to try and avoid that hot, humid summer heat. This batch of tomatoes have been struggling with blossom end rot, which I have never had happen before. I've added dolomite lime to the soil to help with calcium, but this is one of those things that doesn't fix itself overnight. It's frustrating, but it's also part of gardening. Sometimes you do the right thing and you still have to wait for the plant to catch up. Not every problem has an instant solution, and this has just made me realise how important the right nutrients in the soil are. Every time I plant a new tomato plant, I will be adding dolomite lime and potash to the soil to prevent this from happening again. Potash is used to help produce lots of flowers and fruit, and dolomite lime provides calcium, which helps prevent blossom end rot. And then there's the basil, which is completely out of control. This is one of those good problems to have, but it definitely needs attention. I'll be harvesting a lot of this and turning it into pesto so it doesn't go to waste. I just want to give a shout out to my favourite summer flower, the lisianthus. These flowers have been blooming all summer long and are just gorgeous. Another kind of fail in the garden this summer was planting the lemongrass in my raised bed rather than in a pot. It has taken over a lot of the space and makes the whole bed look messy and weedy. Once I harvest this, I'll only ever plant it in a pot again. It is looking very healthy though, and I should get a good harvest from it soon. I'm really struggling with growing capsicums this year. They're all very small, but maybe I just need to give them some more food. If anyone has any tips for growing large capsicums, please let me know in the comments. One thing that is thriving though are my papayas. They're steadily growing in size, and they're another fruit I'm really excited to harvest. I've never tried my own homegrown papayas before, so fingers crossed they get to full size and ripen soon. This garden right now is a mix of wins, losses and lessons. Some things are thriving, some things are failing, and honestly that's just gardening. If everything worked perfectly all the time, we wouldn't learn anything. I'll be sharing the melon harvest soon, and I'm also working on a home orchard project that I'm really excited to show you. If you're enjoying these honest garden updates, then make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you in the next video.